Hello, my name is Madison and I'm a sophomore at Dunwoody High School. In the 8th grade, I participated in Peachtree Charter Middle School's STEM program. During this program, my team won our school's Sea Perch Underwater ROV competition and went on to compete at the Sea Perch Underwater Robotics Championships at Georgia Tech. I was selected as one of 11 students from my school to participate in the Science, Tools, and Techniques program, also known as STT, at Fairbanks Science Center. This was a 9th grade program where we spent half of every school day during our fall semester at Fairbanks Science Center, learning and working with the scientist teachers there. I was awarded the overall best student of my group. Through Fernbank, I was able to become a Lockheed Martin aviation camp counselor. Currently, I am an STT ambassador. I took AP Environmental Science during spring semester of my freshman year, and I scored a 4 out of 5 on the AP exam for that course. I am currently in advanced chemistry and on an accelerated math pathway, and I will be taking AP chemistry next semester. I am involved in a variety of clubs, including Student Government, Beta Club, Girl Up, Green Club, Habitat for Humanity, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and Young Life. I am the French Club Activities Chair. I am a founding member and the Communications Secretary of the Young Democrats Club of Dunwoody High School, and I am also a Youth Council and Choir member at Dunwoody United Methodist Church. I play varsity lacrosse, I'm on the varsity dive team, and I'm a varsity football cheerleader. And I would love to be a part of Governor's Honors Program. Go Wildcats! Everything I'm involved in has led me to where I am today. Science is an extremely big part of my life. I would like to become a pediatric neurosurgeon, and we all know that science is an extremely important part of this. Scientific discoveries and topics surround our daily lives. More specifically, energy discussions occur almost daily. Everything we do requires some sort of energy. Whether it be charging our phone or driving a car, everything needs energy. As our overused non-renewable energy resources begin to run out, we are forced to find new sources of energy. One extremely important energy source that I find fascinating is solar energy. The sun delivers more energy in 1 hour to Earth than we use in an entire day. Figuring out how to effectively harness this energy would be able to solve our non-renewable energy crisis. New solar cells are being developed every day. Typically, solar cells have to be at a certain angle to collect sunlight, and film solar cells are usually inefficient. However, with the newly engineered film solar cells, this issue is a thing of the past. These solar cells were designed based on the structure of the black wings of the rose butterfly. This decision was not random. These wings have evolved over millions of years to be able to collect energy in the most efficient way. It is fascinating that nature can teach us so much. These new solar cells are still being tested, but if they prove to be successful, they can generate power throughout the entire day and eventually be manufactured for consumer use. Not only are new solar cells being developed, but discoveries are being made that can dramatically improve solar cells. Researchers have been able to measure the flow of energy and how it moves in photosynthetic organisms. At first glance, this may not seem important to solar cells. However, solar cells do the same overall function as photosynthetic organisms. Both take solar energy and convert it into usable energy. One main difference between photosynthetic and artificial cells is that in photosynthesis, light energy causes electrons to move rapidly across the cell membrane. In artificial cells, the electrons return to their starting point, and captured energy is lost. Georgia State University researchers were able to study this phenomenon called back electron transfer. This was the first time that back electron transfer had been studied and measured. Similarly, at Charles University in Prague, researchers used ultra-fast spectroscopy on the photosynthesis of bacteria cells, which is when light is used to study molecules. They were able to locate the routes along which solar energy is transported. Understanding how biological machinery works can help us improve our solar cell technology. More studies are needed, but these discoveries have already changed the path that solar cell development is on. Alternative energy seems to be a trending news topic, particularly the new 3D cells that have begun to be tested in space. These cells were designed at none other than Georgia Tech. An experimental module was sent to the International Space Station on SpaceX's Falcon 9. This module will be measuring the performance of the 3D cells against the harshness of space and temperature changes. There are 4 different photovoltaic cells aboard this module. The first are 3D cells based on conventional cadmium telluride. The second are 3D cells based on copper, zinc, tin, and sulfide. These cells are referred to as CZTS and are cheaper than conventional materials. The third type of cells are traditional planar cells produced at Georgia Tech. The fourth type of cells are planar cells based on CZTS. There are multiple factors being tested throughout this experiment. The 3D model aims to replace the traditional planar models. 3D cells could boost the amount of power that solar cells produced. 3D cells are made up of mini carbon nanotube towers that are coated in photoabsorbers. Also, these cells would not require any movement to capture sunlight because they would be able to capture sunlight from any angle. The International Space Station sees 15 to 16 sunrises and sunsets a day, so a 3D solar cell could prove to be extremely useful. The second factor being tested is the use of new materials. Solar cells are usually made with copper, indium, gallium, and selenium, referred to as CIGS. The new models made of copper, zinc, tin, and sulfide are more cost efficient and possibly more power efficient. The CZTS models have a direct band gap. This means the electrons are emitted directly rather than through an indirect band gap, which take away some of the energy. Direct band gaps work better in space because the larger gaps make it harder for radiation to hurt the cell. The new designs will be compared with other designs already in space. The researchers on this mission believe that if it can work in the extreme harsh conditions in space, then it can work on Earth. When I start to form a research question, I begin with something I genuinely care about, which is the Earth. I begin by asking, is this good for the Earth? By doing so, it becomes easier for me to get involved with the topic. Once I have that single starting piece, I collect background research. Coming up with original questions takes outside-of-the-box thinking. So, I typically begin to brainstorm how it relates to more than just the obvious. For example, in my science fair project, I started with the idea that the majority of our current energy resources pollute the Earth. From there, I took what I was passionate about and decided a course of action to solve this problem. To me, renewable energy is the answer to our energy pollution problem. I decided that solar energy was my favorite energy source due to its abundance. Once I had the topic of solar energy, I began to narrow down the topic. After some more thinking, I decided that improving solar cell efficiency was a solution. This topic becomes more than just energy efficiency. The quest for improving energy efficiency impacts other areas of science. The problem I am trying to solve impacts our atmosphere conditions, human health, water quality, and overall wellness of the Earth. My method of brainstorming allows me to apply something I am passionate about to multiple areas of science. The trending research about solar cells led me to my science fair project. I understand how important renewable energy resources have become. I personally believe solar energy is the way to solve our energy crisis. The sun hits the Earth with more energy in an hour than we use in an entire day. How does it not make sense to harness this energy? This leads me back to my science fair project for this year. My group and I decided solar energy would be our focus because we wanted to do a project that could help our society. When we thought about solar cells, we realized a main issue was efficiency. After conducting some research on how solar cells work, we decided to test how solar cell efficiency is impacted by temperature. From what we already know, we hypothesized that if we place a solar cell in a cooler environment, the efficiency will increase. This is based on the knowledge that heat can reduce the output of a photovoltaic system, so it makes sense that in a cooler environment, efficiency would increase. We have already planned our procedure and collected the materials necessary. We will begin our data collection within the next few weeks. As a sophomore, this is my first science fair project. Overall, I love science and math, and I think Governor's Honors Program would be a perfect place for me. Go GHP! Thank you.